Thank you for tuning in to today's video, where today we'll be diving into the crazy life of the most famous Siamese twins. Chang and Ang Bunker were born in 1811 in Siam, modern-day Thailand. The earliest report of the twins assigns the birth month to May 1811. Their mother reportedly said that their birth was no more difficult than that of their other several siblings. The birth village is called Meklong, and today a statue in the town commemorates the twins' birthplace. The so-called discovery of the brothers is credited to the Scottish merchant Robert Hunter. At the time, Hunter was a trusted trade associate of the Siamese government and traveled with considerable freedom in the country. In 1824, Hunter reportedly first met the twins while on a fishing boat in the Menem River, and the twins were swimming at dusk. He mistook them for a strange animal, but after meeting them, he immediately saw economic opportunity in bringing them to the West. He would later tell a story that the king of Siam had ordered the brothers' deaths and had originally forbidden him to transport them out of the country. Regardless of the story's veracity, it took 5 years for Hunter to bring them away. On April 1, 1829, the twins started their travels aboard the trading vessel to Boston, Massachusetts. Along the way, Chang and Ang were taught English and the ways of the West. Upon their arrival in the United States, they were subject to countless medical inquiries. One doctor, testing their connective band with needles to determine sensitivity, found that both boys drew away from punctures at the middle of the band, whereas at half an inch or more from the center, only the twin on that side would feel the pain. He also found that when one experienced a sour taste, the other did so as well, and that tickling one of them resulted in the other demanding to stop. Other tests included few simple experiments on the twins and examined their physiology and motor responses. The doctors observed that the twins' heartbeats and respiration were synchronized and that they shared some habits and tastes. Chang and Ang also had distinct personalities, and each had very different characteristics. Upon their arrival in Boston, the twins were exhibited immediately to the public for a fee, which they received a percentage of. In the exhibit, the brothers performed demonstrations and showed the audience how they were physically connected. According to Kay Hunter, a descendant of Robert Hunter, the exhibition was successful and received significant attention. The twins quickly learned how to do somersaults, backflips, and added acrobatic performances to make the show more entertaining. The twins also included badminton, chess, and checkers in their performances. After about 2 years of this, they decided to end their partnership with Hunter and went off on their own. During that period, they contacted and worked alongside a showman and circus manager, Phineas Barnum, in the US. They traveled to Cuba in 1835, then Paris, Belgium, and the Netherlands. After their life on the road and making substantial amounts of money, Chang and Ang retired in 1839 and purchased a farm in North Carolina. With slavery being legal during this time period, they purchased 30 slaves to help them operate the farm. Soon after establishing this farm, they also incredibly started a family. It began when they started courting the Yates sisters. On April 13, 1843, Chang married Adelaide Yates and Ang married Sarah Yates. At first, the Bunkers and their wives lived in the same house and shared a reinforced bed built for 4 people. After 3 years, however, Chang and Ang built 2 separate houses for each other. The wives each had their own house, while Chang and Ang alternated between the houses every 3 days. Amazingly, Chang Bunker and his wife had a total of 10 children, while Ang and his wife had 12 children. Each wife gave birth for the first time in 1844. While no details survived about how the couples conducted their intimacy, it's worth noting that the brothers' first children were born 6 days apart and the later pair 8 days apart. After the American Civil War, which ended slavery in 1862, the twins were unable to keep their slaves and could no longer run their farm on their own. The brothers had to start doing more public exhibitions, where they traveled to Germany and Russia. They continued to tour until they were 60 years old. All the while, they continued to seek options on surgical separation because they had started to fear what would happen if one of them died. Ultimately, in 1870, Chang suffered a stroke that paralyzed his right side, the side closest to his brother. For a while, Ang was able to help Chang go about his daily routine. but unfortunately he never returned to full health and took to drinking. A lingering cough later turned vicious, and he died on January 17, 1874. Ang, complaining of ill health, asked his son to check on his brother. This is when he confirmed that Chang had passed, and so Ang replied, "Then I am going too." Over the next hour, he suffered intense pain and distress, a cold sweat covering his body. The only notice he took of his dead twin was to move his body nearer to him. 2.5 hours after losing his brother, Ang Bunker died as well. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing, and hopefully we will see you in the next one.